guys, Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing amazing. Now, based on the emotions that I've been feeling lately, I really want to talk about the different types of emotions we feel as humans and how we try to suppress a lot of our emotions on a daily basis. There are different reasons to it. For example, as a child, I only loved to be happy and I loved the happy moments, and I always thought that life is going to be, how it was for me in my childhood, like pretty much like a fairy tale, and I'd be the princess. Well, yeah, I can still treat myself like that and look at myself that way because women are queens in Islam. So yes, you need to accept your honor, protect your honor, and be aware of your honor. However, as I kept growing older, I got exposed to the dark side of the world, and I realized that it's not really pleasant here, is it? And of course, I was sensitive, so for me, it was just the whole process of finally just processing things that would happen to me which were unpleasant. A lot of the times I was so in disbelief. I was like, why is this happening with me right now? And it's basically disbelief when you're not able to process the grief, and it can take time. After that pattern being repeated over and over and over again, I started developing attachment to stress. Grievances and just moments of stress had become quite common and frequent as opposed to my childhood, that when something good would happen, I would then start wondering, now what's going to happen? Like, everything is good, but it really can't be that way, can it? It can't always be good. And my brain naturally, subconsciously starts wondering, what is it that's wrong, that's going to happen? And while that is true, and life is a test, and we weren't promised a happy moment every single time in this life, but in Jannah we definitely are. I feel like one of the ways I've just been able to navigate this issue that I've had is by accepting. Because if I have an attachment to stress, then if something good happens, then I restrict myself or suppress myself from feeling happy in the moment. I used to try to figure things out, or I used to try to be stable and try to figure it out. Like, so I wanted to just figure how to live this life happily, or how to just survive, because in a lot of times I was in a survival mode. So I was just like, okay, now what do I do? I'm happy, but then something bad can happen. So then what should I do to make sure that I'm not very shocked when something bad happens, and it doesn't hit me like a hard rock when something bad happens, but more like I was prepared for it. But over time I realized that as humans, why are we trying to be stable? Why do I have to always condition my brain into feeling a certain emotion? Now, I'm not just saying that it's about my specific problem, that if I am attached to stress, then I make myself, not very accepting towards a good moment that can happen, that can make me happy. So that's my example right now. But for a lot of us, we just want to feel a certain way at all times. For me as well, a lot of times when something not very good would happen, or something that's just slightly discouraging, demotivating, or not very good, a sorrowful moment hits me, then I'm just like, no, I just have to stay positive right now. I have to be strong, I have to be happy, it's okay, nothing happened. While it is okay that I tell myself that, but why do we want to just figure things out in this world? Why do we go through something and we want to feel something about it, be it anger, be it sadness, be it happiness, and while we're feeling it, why do we get into denial that we're feeling this way? That's my issue. I have a complaint from myself that I do this. When something good happens, I'm like, oh, something bad is going to happen. Khairul-Nisa, don't be so happy. Astaghfirullah. When something bad happens, then I just try to stay positive and strong all the time. And then there were a lot of times in my past where I just felt like if I broke down because of hardship striking me, if I got tears in my eyes, or if I'd feel sad or anxious or even afraid, then I used to just tell myself that, what? Don't feel this way. You are supposed to be savage. You're supposed to be strong right now. You're supposed to be like, nothing happened. That I don't give a damn attitude you should adopt. Why is it always that we're literally trying to suppress our emotions and get in denial about our emotions? And the irony here is that you feel happy, you want to feel sad. You because you're not familiar to happiness for a while, and then you feel sad, you're looking for happiness, you're seeking happiness, but then you feel happy again, and then you're just like, nah, this ain't it. I don't want to feel this way, because if I'm sad, I have nothing to lose. So that's a more comforting feeling. But when you're actually sad, you're just like, oh my god, I just wish I make it out of this situation. You know what? I feel like we all have this issue, and the best way to get out of this is to accept our emotions in the moment that we're feeling them, right then and there. If I feel sad, yes, I feel sad. If I feel happy, yeah, I feel really happy right now. I want to experience it and just feel the happiness that a certain moment is giving me. Not wondering, oh, I don't deserve this moment, or oh, I'm so anxious for this, time is running out, I don't deserve this, 10 things like people don't want me to be happy, but I'm being happy, but then there's people that are wishing for my downfall, but then, tomorrow I've got this huge exam, or, anything you want to be in, but in that happy moment, because you're worried that this will go. Yeah, that's the point. The fact is that no moment is going to be permanent. Nothing is permanent in this life, so you might as well be honest with how you feel in the moment. If you feel sad about something, it's okay. Be like, yeah, I feel sad about it. Why do I feel sad about it? Like, the point is, stop suppressing your emotions and start accepting them. And I know that emotional control is emphasized a lot, and not acting up on our emotions is emphasized. So that is why I also want to make one thing clear, that here I'm telling, accept your emotions, question your emotions, talk about your emotions, and at places and with people that you feel safe. You can talk to God about it. I feel the safest sharing my feelings with God, because He knows everything, and He's the best of planners, and He heals me, and He knows everything anyway, subhanallah. So yes, but then there's a difference between just accepting your emotions fully and acting up on those emotions. Let's see, if I feel angry, so there's two options. Either I sit down with myself and I tell myself, I am angry right now. I feel a lot of anger. Maybe just say what you want to do. You want to break the pencil? You want to break the window? Just say it. Yeah, I want to break the window. That's how angry I am right now. Okay, don't say it to a person. Saying it to a person wouldn't really help. So you can just, talk your anger out. You can accept, first just accept it. Just tell yourself, talk to yourself, this is how I talk to myself. Yeah, baby girl, you're angry right now, but there's nothing we can do. It's okay, baby girl. We've got this. We're sad right now because this has happened, but we've been here before, and we'll still make it out better than before and more knowledge than before from this moment. This is how I talk to myself lately. Or if something triggering happens to me, I'm like, Karunisa, listen, this has happened before, and I know you're triggered right now, and I know there's a whole history to this pattern of getting triggered, but it's okay, we've got this. Just process this emotion. Lately, I'm not even saying anything ahead of but. I'm just like, or even but. I'm just like, I'm feeling this way. You don't realize how much power that has. When you have accepted something, you have nothing to lose. Except if I'm like, yeah, I feel triggered right now, what do I have to lose? Nobody else can tell me that I'm triggered, right? I just accept this myself. And it's not like I'm telling you guys to go out there and tell to the world that, hey, you know what, I've got anxiety issues, or I have depression, or I have ADHD, this and that. Not really, but accept your emotions to yourself. Learn how to be honest to yourself. A lot of us tell ourselves, you have to be tough right now. Or start accepting your emotions just the way they are in the moment. And you'll realize that half the problem is already solved. Because what is the next step after accepting something? If I'm angry about something, okay, if I'm in a group discussion, and if I get angry or triggered about something, if I am not accepting that, what I'm going to go ahead and do is maybe just take out my anger or frustration on somebody else, or make sure that I feel like if I have been disturbed, I disturb others as well, or just 10 things which all come out of denial of the emotion, because I've kept it inside of me, I've suppressed it. But if I accept it, this has triggered me and I have got angry because of this, then you will realize that you don't want to take revenge or wrong anyone, or even go about the wrong path with this emotion. you would want to deal with it ahead of this in a better way, maybe by journaling, maybe by talking to someone you're comfortable with, by doing ibadat and talking to Allah about how you feel. God is the one who is never tired of listening to you. I'm reminding this to you guys. But when you just suppress that emotion, you keep it inside of you. You suppress it, right? So it's in your chest. And while you keep suppressing it, maybe say anger, then it builds up in you and it turns you into a person that you might hate for all you know. Because if you'd meet yourself in another person, you'd be like, oh my goodness, this is so rude. But then you realize you have these qualities too. You later on end up developing, becoming a person that just hates on others and whose presence is frustrating for others, because you see somebody happy, you're like, I went through so much pain and this person is happy right now. I want to make sure that I ruin this person's happiness. I'm not even telling you that if you are a person like that you are at fault. The only thing is that you didn't learn how to deal with your emotions the right way. You were always in denial. If a person was abused at their home and they were angry and hurt about it, they were in denial. If a very traumatizing or a scary event happened in somebody's life, they live in denial, and they try to then go on to get into this defense mode and try to display this image of being a stud and being this tough person. But for all you know, there's so much that your inner child has gone through. There's so much wounds inside of you, and that's why you want to come across as this dangerous person, because you weren't able to fight back for yourself when all of that happened to you. And my heart goes out to such people. But trust me, one of the ways you can deal with it is just accept that you're feeling a certain way. Like today, I had to interact with a few people and I was feeling really anxious about it. And I just told my sister that, you know what, I'm feeling so anxious about this. And I admitted it to her. And then while we did go and talk to those people, it was so normal. Because I accepted my emotions. What's next? If I kept suppressing it, I don't think that I would be normal in front of them, because I had these suppressed emotions. So acceptance is the first step you take towards solving a problem. Now, when I'm telling that if a person is abused in their household, or if they went through a lot of pain, or if they've been hurt by a person, then you have to sit down in your room and just accept it, and that's where it's done. Not really. I think that counseling in that case helps. And even talking to the person that has hurt you about how you feel can really help. And I know it, like, one of the biggest problems I've had in my life personally has been confronting other people. So if you have a problem confronting the people that hurt you, I completely understand you and empathize with you. But if it is possible, please try to confront the person that hurt you. Or if there's a person that you have like any inner grudges with, just try to talk to them and let them know that this is what I feel. And you can do that all with respect. And again, mind you guys, that sabr is not keeping quiet. Sabr is talking out how you feel, confronting people with respect. Because if sabr was about keeping quiet, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, wouldn't have shared that a person with the highest degree of iman is someone who sees something wrong happening, and the best thing that they can do at the first rank is try to stop that with their own hands. And then the act that represents the next level of iman, slightly lower to that, is trying to stop that with your tongue. And then something that contains iman and depicts the iman of a person, way lower to both of these acts, is at least having resentment about that wrong thing in your heart. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged us to stop the wrongdoers with our tongue, with our hands, like physically with our, and while talking it out. So what makes you think that you have to keep quiet when something happens to you? No, you can talk about it and you can be respectful. And yes, there's times when no matter how much you try to convey to somebody that, listen, you've hurt me, they will still be in denial. But that's their issue. You've understood that they're in denial. They have issues themselves. What will they understand your problem? So then what you do is try dealing with it in different ways. Like counseling is one of the ways. Talking to somebody that you feel safe or comfortable with, who can empathize with you, is another way. Sabse pehle talking to God and realizing that He's actually listening to me, because He is with you indeed wherever you are, as Allah has said in the Quran. Talk to Him while knowing fully that He's got you and He'll take you out of it. Talk to Him about how you feel. Don't feel like you're alone, and don't feel like you have to battle with your emotions by yourself. It's important to be vulnerable. It's amazing to be vulnerable. And also, it's really, really human to feel different sorts of emotions, negative, positive, both, because emotions are indeed What is something that differentiates us from an animal? It is our emotions. We are capable of feeling everything: fear, sadness, grief, anxiety, happiness, excitement. Don't suppress your emotions, just feel. Don't try to be the master of your life. Don't try to have everything in control. If you're feeling happy, you should feel happy. Why do we work hard day and night, put us through these frustrating and draining situations so that we can lead a good life, a happy life? So when you're persuading, the irony here is also that we're working so hard towards living a satisfactory and a fulfilling and a happy life, but then we let the frustration of a job or dealing with miserable people turn into our reality. If you're working for something, of course it's a certain lifestyle that can make you happy. So with that comes challenges too. I never think that once I reach this stage in my life that you're working hard for, I'm going to be the happiest person. That just doesn't happen. Pain is a part of our life. It will always be with us till we are in this life, because you need to understand that this life is a test. It's not Jannah. Jannah will be painless. But this life is a test indeed. So what do you have to do in that case? You have to choose your pain. Listen, with success, there is pain, okay? With success, there's a lot of people judging you. There's a lot of people trying to wish on your downfall. There's a lot of people that can be jealous of you. While you're not successful, and because you want to avoid all of that, there's misery. And stop trying to deny how you feel or make yourself feel a certain way when you don't feel like you want to feel it. Like, if I'm sad, I don't want to tell myself that, hey, let's be happy, let's be positive, because I don't feel like it. Learn how to just be and let things go with the flow. If I feel sad, yeah, I'm sad. That's it. I'll come out of it for sure, but I'm sad right now. Going in denial will only make you suppress your emotions. And suppressing your emotions can turn into literal health issues, like suppressing stress and not dealing with it and not letting it out. It can turn into a disease called high blood pressure, BP. Keeping sorrow inside of you can cause depression because you don't have anyone to talk to. Major reason for depression is loneliness. And why do you feel lonely at the first time? Because you don't have people to talk to about your initial stages of depression. And then there comes a point where you're so engraved into it that you just feel like, now I can't come out of it. So the initial stage of all these issues is, I think, denying it for the first time. Like, even you think about a health issue that can turn into a major disease. For example, let's say, okay, you know what? I don't even need an example. Any disease, take it. Let's say diabetes, right? If you take time to diagnose it and then take medications for it, it's already increasing day by day because you're avoiding medications. And then when you finally take medications, but you don't do precaution in terms of the sweets that you're consuming, then also the damage is being done. It might not show up in the moment while you're consuming the sweets, but later on you could now get further into different diseases because of your sugar levels being high. Physical illness, I'm talking. This is the thing, that when you don't diagnose it, when you don't accept it, and you keep being like, it's okay, I'm just going to do what I want to do, when you're not addressing that issue, then wait until it turns into a big issue, really. And like, right now I'm talking about the health of your mind. Now, when you are going through something, okay, and you're suppressing it and suppressing it and suppressing it without acknowledging it, now what you can develop to that is a huge defense mechanism and a huge personality or a demeanor which screams that I'm the strongest person there is. But for all you know, you are just so angry that you were made to feel afraid a lot of times. You were terrorized a lot of times. So then you develop this demeanor which is really intimidating. You want to intimidate people because you were intimidated. Both ways, listen, if you are going through an issue, when you're going through it, when you're suffering, you're miserable. And even if you develop a personality, again, that's also miserable because you're trying to constantly be in survival mode now. But when you come to terms with the fact that it happened and forgive the people, if you wish to, that did that to you, now you've freed yourself. Forgive but don't forget, and that is on point. The reason forgiving is so important is because you're not forgiving that person. You are not freeing that person because you are freeing yourself from getting literal punishment of what you've been put through, because you're forgetting it eventually. And even if you haven't forgotten it, when you look back into those days when you were put through what you were put through, you don't look at that with any emotion. You feel no emotion towards someone who hurts you, and that's the best revenge and the best thing you can do for yourself. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope this video helped you. If it did, then do like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video, inshallah. Until then, take care. Don't worry, pray your salahs on time. Allah Hafiz, fi aman Allah.